Hello everyone, Coffee Stain just dropped a new experimental update for Satisfactory, and it looks like we're finally getting a fix for one of the game's biggest headaches, fluids. That's right, they've added what looks like a fluid truck. How does that fix the game's fluid system? I have no idea, but the developers seem to think it's the perfect fix. I'm a bit confused, but we'll talk about that in a bit. The update video covers three main things. 1. A price drop in their merch store, not related to the build, but hey, who doesn't like cheaper t-shirts? 2. Some performance improvement for big factories. And 3. Most importantly, what is presented to be the perfect fix for fluid transportation, with what looks like a dedicated vehicle for transporting fluids. This last point has me a bit confused. If you've ever built a massive refinery setup, you know fluids in Satisfactory can be a bit painful. Balancing pipes can be a nightmare, and unlike solid items that move smoothly with belts or trucks, liquids have always been stuck in a system of their own, and it's not always reliable. So when the devs said,
"We have heard your feedback loud and clear,
and we're addressing fluid issues in this build, I thought this is what they intended to fix. But what they actually followed up with was that they found the perfect fix for our issues with fluid transportation.
We have heard about your struggles and your issues with fluid transportation. 1.2 will provide the perfect solution."
And then it cuts to the big reveal. A truck. A truck that you can directly pump fluids into. You know, like a train, but with the added fuel management complexity. Help me out here, please. Have you ever found transporting fluids difficult? I mean, just load them on a train, am I right? Please let me know in the comments if I'm missing something. There is, however, an interesting point. In one of the shots, we see different colored pipes going into the truck stop, which could suggest that it may be able to handle different types of fluids, which honestly would be huge if it turns out to be true. I, for one, would like to see that change for solids as well. That sort of change could make trucks relevant again. I guess there are some edge cases where fluid trucks could be useful, maybe smaller outposts or flexible setups, and yeah, it probably makes sense that they exist. But from what I've seen so far, I'm not expecting this to be the big fix we've been hoping for. I hope I'm wrong though. The next big change is a bit more technical, but honestly this one is exciting. It's an optimization related to collision boxes, and it should lead to general performance improvements, especially for players with huge factories. Basically, the game will now despawn the collision boxes around spline elements, things like belts, pipes and hypertubes, when you're not close to them. Here's why that matters. What you see in the game, all the beautiful polished 3D geometry, those are called meshes. But the thing that actually stops you from walking through them is an invisible collision box. Simple boxes are used because checking collisions against a detailed model like the mesh will require an incredible amount of computing power. For spline objects, those boxes can number in the hundreds, and the game used to keep them all loaded into the memory. With this update, it only loads the ones nearby, freeing up RAM and improving performance. So yeah, it's a real optimization win. So we have lower prices for merch, a performance update and a new vehicle that I'm probably never gonna use. Overall, I'd say the feeling around build 1.2 is pretty positive. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.